What's up, everybody? I'm your host, Brian Watkins, and welcome to another edition of the Brian Watkins channel. My subject today is going to be about the 14 signs when you're dealing with a narcissist. The reason why I'm making this video is for those of you who may unknowingly are faced with a narcissist and you don't know exactly what the problem is, and you need to be able to deal with it to get your life back in order. Or for those of you who are aware of a narcissist and maybe want to learn more about them than you already know. Tune in. Let's get started. Shout outs to everybody that views my channel, supports my channel, and subscribe to my channel. And all of the new people that are viewing my channel, thank you so much. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. So let's get started. 14 signs you're dealing with a narcissist. Now, for those of you who may be unaware of what a narcissist is, well, when it comes to determining whether someone you know is a narcissist, most people make it complicated than it needs to be. I use the duck test. That is, if it looks like a duck and quacks like a duck, it's probably a duck. There are no physical blood tests, MRIs, or exact determinations that can identify narcissism. Even therapists have to go on their observations of the behaviors, attitudes, and reaction that a person present to determine narcissism. What makes it simple is the fact that we know exactly what a narcissist looks like. And I'm going to share with you all the symptoms and behaviors you should look for. Keep in mind that not all of these have to be present to make a determination of narcissism. It's just that a person needs to exhibit only 55% of the identified characteristics to be considered narcissistic. So the list I have made here is descriptive so you can get a more in-depth picture of a narcissist's common behavior. We're going to start with number 1, superiority and entitlement. The world of narcissists is all about good, bad, superior, inferior, right, wrong. There is definitely with the narcissist at the top, which is the only place they feel safe. Narcissists have to be the best, the most right, and the most competent, do everything their way, own everything, and control everyone. Interestingly enough, narcissists can also get that superior feeling by being the worst, the most worst, or the most ill, upset, or injured for a period of time. Then they feel entitled to receive soothing concern and even the right to hurt you or demand apologies to make things even. Now, before I even go on down to the second one, I've had my share of dealing with narcissists about the superiority and the entitlement. And for me, I'm going to do what I want to do. So narcissists don't like me at all. And the fact that I don't care makes them really, really, really want to destroy me, because they feel that this thing about them wanting to control everything and everyone and own everything, I ain't having it. Like I said, unfortunately, dealing with relationships, living in America with black females, I ran into a lot of them. And it was the thing that, what was it? Trying to, boss me around or whatever. And I'm like, whoa, 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 slow your roll. Listen here, you might as well find somebody else because I don't need your permission to do anything. Because narcissists do not like people like myself that think for themselves, that will stand up for themselves, and break up with them because they believe that the world revolves around them. And I'm like, no, it doesn't. If you don't like me, keep it moving. And it's really sad because a lot of times when you're dealing with a narcissist, you have to always understand that the best way to defend yourself from them is knowing exactly what is a narcissist in the first place. And I'm going to continue to share more of that. That was just number one, the superiority behavior and the entitlement behavior. Narcissists truly behave that way. So, we're going to go with number 2. Okay, they exaggerated need for attention and validation. Narcissists need constant attention, even following you around the house, asking you to find things, or constantly saying something to grab your attention. Validation for a narcissist courts only if it comes from others. Even then, it doesn't count for much. A narcissist's need for validation is like a funnel. You pour in positive, supportive words, and they just flow out the other in and are gone. No matter how much you tell narcissists you love them, admire them, or approve of them, they never feel it's enough because deep down they don't believe anyone can love them. Despite all their self-observed and boastful bragging, narcissists are actually very insecure and fearful of not measuring up. And they constantly try to at least praise and approval from others to show up their fragile egos. But no matter how much they're given, they always want more. And that's true. Like I said, the fact of being faced with dating narcissists, all those things are treated. Now, this is how I pretty much look at it. In general, I more so live and let live. I can be supportive to a degree, and I'm not really into coaching anybody. Whereas with them, it's true. You can give them all the encouragement in the world today, would it be on Tuesday, and literally by the time Friday gets here, it's like you never said a word to them. And I'm just like, well, okay, I got a short span for nonsense, I'm just like, look, see, with them, narcissists try to be somebody they're not. They're always you're never really seeing the real person. It's always an act or an illusion. It's just a mask that they're wearing. And when they pull it off, you will begin to see that that's not the person that they have misled you to believe that they are. So, tune in for part 2 of the 14 signs you're dealing with a narcissist. Don't you go anywhere.